Sorry, I've been away for about a week, and that's because I've been having some major phone drama on my hands. My regular phone, my trusty Samsung that I had been using to make all the recordings, started having a few hiccups a couple of, should I say, weeks ago. But of course, I remained obstinate as usual and refused to replace it. Anyway, so recently, my mom comes along because she wants to see the grandkids and also because she's heading to Lagos because she has some unfinished business to sort out. And while she's there, she figures, well, your phone looks like it's taking a beating and perhaps it's time to give it a rest. Why don't you take this old iPhone of mine? And of course, I figured, hey, no problem. Because that's what I've always done in the past. I've always inherited her phones and her computers. Basically, I never buy new stuff. Yeah, I know, it sounds cheap, but that's just how I roll. Anyway, so I take the new phone and then I start the process of having to migrate apps here and there and things of that nature. You know, the stuff you do when you get a new phone. And then lo and behold, I forgot that whenever you have an iPhone, all your WhatsApp messages back up to the iCloud, and when you have an Android, all your WhatsApp messages back up to Google Drive. So basically, in the midst of all that, I lost a ton of messages, and I've basically spent the last few weeks just trying to get back on my feet, because even though I have a CRM of sorts, I use Evernote to manage all my contact information and stuff like that. So I had a pretty good idea about where I was with everyone, all the customers, and all the people that I'm still currently negotiating with. For some people who are WhatsApp people, well, you know that I'm a phone call person, but some people are WhatsApp people and I've given up the fight. I just meet people where they are. So yes, there are a couple of negotiations that were going on over WhatsApp. So I just spent the last week pretty much trying to get things back to normal, basically, since I had suffered that data loss over on WhatsApp. And then what else, a few other glitches that can go wrong here and there when you're having to migrate, switch all your data from one phone to another, particularly when you're moving across the great divide, the Android and the iPhone divide. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done all of last week, and so I'm here and I'm back with you guys. However, I'm not going to continue with our regularly scheduled programming as we agreed. That's the case studies on the G Power Tech. But I'm going to be bringing you guys a little bit of news today for those of you who are current with the episodes on the podcast. You'll remember that I'm a meet your customers wherever they are kind of person. And so because of that, even though I don't really like bridal fairs, I have absolutely no qualms with going there, because that's meeting them where they are. In this case, it happens to be a physical location and not just the typical hangouts online like Instagram and wedding blogs and what have you. So that time has come round again. The Hilton is putting together the fourth edition of their wedding fair, and they decided to have a couple of us vendors over to seek input on how they can make the wedding fair a resounding success. Of course, we all had some concerns because the wedding fair is now coming late in the year. Typically, people would have wedding fairs as early as March, and some people do July, and I think the latest probably would be is it September or maybe early October? But by November, pretty much, I think brides and grooms have already sorted out who their preferred wedding vendors are. And that's for the people who are getting married in December and maybe early January. So, of course, yeah, we have those concerns that it's coming really late, but they'll take those on board and see how they can take that bit of advice into selecting the timing for next year. But bottom line is, I guess it's a good thing that the industry is beginning to rebound little by little, day by day, and Hilton Hotel is now taking that first salvo in getting wedding fairs back on the market. So in usual fashion, I'll be keeping you guys updated on the adventures that we have, not just in the run-up to the wedding fair, which is going to be on the 29th and the 30th of November, So not just the run-up, the prep and all that, but also the lovely brides and grooms that I'm going to meet during the fair, and then my adventures in follow-up and things like that, so that we can, so that I can share a more detailed blow-by-blow about how about I execute my sales plan, my sales playbook. So that's the news that I'm going to give you today. And then on the next recording, we'll continue with the G-Power case studies. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to the Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry podcast. I'm your host, Abuja-based photographer Tavishima Ayede. Thank you very much for listening, and sorry that I had to disappear unavoidably for a week. Oh, and that's also another thing. That was part of the adventure in the having to migrate the software and stuff like that. For some reason, Anchor just stopped working on my phone. So that took me another 2 days to get sorted. And so I'm now back with our handy dandy recordings. Although it gave me a fright and it got me wondering. I wonder if there's any podcasting solution or platform that allows you to migrate accounts, to migrate data, stuff like that, so that if I were on Anchor, as I am now, making this recording and something goes wrong, if there's a way to just easily migrate the episodes from here to another platform, well, anyway, that's something to think about. If I ever find that sort of solution, I'll be sure to let you guys know, especially for those of you who are thinking about starting a podcast of yours in the near future. So thank you very much, guys, for listening. This is me, Tavishima Ayede, signing out, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.